she still thinks about. Not the loudest one, not the most handsome one, not the one who gave her everything she asked for. The one she thinks about is the one who seemed completely at peace, with or without her. He didn't chase, he didn't perform, he didn't beg. And somehow, that stillness became the most magnetic force she had ever encountered. Most men spend their entire lives trying to be unforgettable and never understand why they keep being forgotten. They send the extra text. They bend their values. They shrink themselves to fit someone else's expectations and wonder why it never works. The secret has nothing to do with tactics or games. It has everything to do with the oldest and most difficult practice in human history, the mastery of the self. This is Stoic Reflection. And today, we're talking about the 6 qualities that make a man truly unforgettable, not because he performed them, but because he lived them. Stay with me until the end, because the last point is the one that changes everything. 1. The man who knows his limits. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, never meant to be published, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wasn't writing to a crowd. He was reminding himself, on a day when the pressure of the world was pulling him in every direction. That is the first quality of the man she never forgets. He knows where he ends and where the world begins. He has limits, real ones, and he enforces them calmly, without ultimatums, without anger. Psychology calls this differentiation, the ability to maintain your own values and identity within a relationship, even under pressure to abandon them. People with high differentiation are consistently perceived as more trustworthy, more stable, and more attractive, not because they are cold, but because they are real. They don't adjust their character every time the emotional temperature changes. Most men say yes when they mean no. They tolerate what they shouldn't because they're terrified of losing someone. In doing so, they communicate something devastating. I am whatever you need me to be. The man who says no, calmly, clearly, without apology, says something entirely different. I am here. I am solid. I know who I am. In a world full of people who bend, a man who stands feels almost like a miracle. 2. The man who chooses peace over approval. Epictetus was a slave. No freedom, no power, no possessions. And yet he became one of the most psychologically liberated men in history. Because he understood one thing most free men never grasp: the only thing truly yours is your response to what happens to you. Everything else, other people's opinions, their behavior, their choices, belongs to them, not to you. This is the second quality. The man who chooses his own peace over someone else's approval. In every relationship, there comes a moment of testing. She pulls back, or escalates, or creates friction to see what you will do. Will you panic? Will you chase? Will you abandon everything you value just to get back to comfort? Most men chase. They call, they text, they explain themselves in paragraphs, and with every word they say the same thing: your approval is more important to me than my own dignity. The Stoic man pauses. He breathes. He asks, is this within my control? And then he acts from that place. This is not coldness. It is the recognition that you cannot build real connection on a foundation of anxiety. Attachment theory confirms the paradox. The person who needs the relationship less is often the one who creates the deeper, more honest bond. Real love is not born from desperation. It is born from choice. And a man who chooses, fully, freely, without panic, is a man worth remembering. 3. The man who has somewhere to be. The Stoics called it summum bonum, the highest good. For them, it was not wealth or fame. It was a life lived in accordance with reason, virtue, and purpose. The man with a mission is not playing hard to get. He genuinely has somewhere to be. Psychology has a term for what makes scarce things attractive, but surface-level tactics wear off. What creates something lasting is genuine investment in something larger than the relationship itself. When a man is building something, studying, creating, growing, he carries a different energy. The energy of a person with direction. And direction signals something primal. This person is going somewhere. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire. Seneca advised emperors. Epictetus taught philosophy in a small room after years of slavery. None of them were waiting around for someone to validate their worth. The man fully absorbed in his own growth doesn't compete for attention. Attention finds him, because people are drawn toward light. And purpose is a form of light. Stop trying to be interesting. Start being interested in your work, in your growth, in something that stretches you. Become the man you would admire, and you will not need to chase admiration. 4. The man who tells the truth with compassion. This one is rarely understood correctly. There is a man who mistakes cruelty for honesty, who delivers hard truths with contempt and tells himself he's just being real. That is not Stoicism. That is emotional immaturity wearing wisdom's clothing. And there is the opposite, the man who watches someone he cares about move in a destructive direction and says nothing because he wants to be liked. That is not kindness. That is cowardice. The Stoic path is neither. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Notice what those words demand, both action and truth, held together. The man she never forgets is the one who told her something real when it was difficult to say. Not cruelly, not performatively, but with the steady conviction of someone who respects her enough to be honest. Psychology calls this a corrective emotional experience. When someone reflects reality back to you, not to diminish you, but because they want what's best, it creates trust that runs very deep. It says, "I see you clearly, and I will not lie to you to make you comfortable." Most people tell us what we want to hear. The person who tells us what we need to hear becomes someone we return to, because they feel safe in a way flattery never does. You don't need to be harsh, to be honest. But you need courage. And courage, the Stoics remind us, is not the absence of fear. It is acting rightly in spite of it. 5. The man who masters his desire. When Alexander the Great visited Diogenes the philosopher and offered to grant him any wish, Diogenes said, "Stand a little out of my sunlight." Alexander, the most powerful man in the world, was dismissed by a man sitting on the ground. And Alexander walked away saying he wished, if he could not be Alexander, he could be Diogenes. This is what mastered desire looks like, and the principle applies to every man. Desire is not weakness. The Stoics never taught that. What they taught was this: desire that controls you is chains. Desire that you control is freedom. When a man wants someone desperately, that desperation broadcasts itself. It changes how he speaks, how he moves, what he decides. He becomes reactive, losing the thread of his own character to orbit the object of his wanting. Attachment theory calls this anxious attachment, a state where the nervous system becomes hypervigilant to rejection. The cruel irony is that the more you need someone, the less you can truly be present with them. You are too busy monitoring, too busy afraid. The man who has mastered his desire feels attraction fully without being owned by it. He can pursue without grasping. He can want without clinging. That interior freedom is felt by everyone around him. And a man who achieves even a fraction of it becomes someone worth building something with. 6. The man whose respect means something. The last point integrates everything that came before, and it is the one most men misunderstand completely. There is a difference between a man who withholds respect as a strategy and a man whose respect is genuinely hard to earn because his standards means something. The first is manipulation. The second is character. The Stoics taught that virtue, not beauty, not status, not wealth, was the only true basis for respect. Seneca wrote that we should judge people not by what they have, but by what they are, by what they do when it costs them something. A man with these values cannot give his respect cheaply, not because he is playing games, but because he has looked at the world clearly and knows the difference between what glitters and what is gold. When a man like this offers his attention and trust, it carries weight. She has watched him withhold it from things that weren't worthy. So when he gives it, she knows it is real. Psychology calls this earned credibility. The people whose opinions change us most are not the ones who agree with everything. They are the ones we know will push back when they believe we are wrong, because that means their agreement actually means something. The man who respects what is worthy and says so clearly gives you something you can hold on to. He makes you want to be worthy of what he sees. Not because he withheld it cruelly, but because you sensed it was real. The ancient Stoics were not teaching men to be cold or indifferent. They were teaching something far more radical, that the path to a meaningful, unforgettable life runs straight through the center of who you are. Self-knowledge, self-discipline, the courage to tell the truth and the wisdom to tell it with care, the ability to want without grasping, the integrity to respect only what genuinely deserves it. These are not tactics. They are the foundations of a life well lived. And the quiet truth, the one the Stoics understood and modern culture keeps forgetting, is that a man genuinely committed to building that life becomes, almost inevitably, someone worth remembering. Not because he tried to be unforgettable, but because he tried to be real. That is the work. It is daily, quiet work. It doesn't always look dramatic from the outside, but it accumulates. And over time, it builds the kind of character that leaves an impression not just on the people who know you, but on the man looking back at you in the mirror every morning. Master yourself. Build something worth building. Tell the truth. Hold your ground. And let the rest take care of itself. This is Stoic Reflection. Take a moment to ask yourself, which of these 6 qualities is calling for your attention right now? The Stoics believed that philosophy was never meant to be read. It was meant to be lived. Start today.